Palmeiras versus Chelsea, Fluminense versus Hilal, PSG versus Bayern, and then we have Real Madrid versus Borussia Dortmund. The Club World Cup has reached the quarterfinals and it's coming to an end. But don't be sad, be happy, because I'm here. The Soccer Nostradamus is back with his predictions. Hello. If you're new here, I'm Filippo and welcome to Chapéu Football, where you will find the best coverage of Brazilian football in English on YouTube. Now listen, this is obviously a Club World Cup video, but once the Club World Cup is over, we're back to Brazilian focused videos, even though there are 2 Brazilian clubs left, so we're going to be talking about them today. Now, unfortunately for my round of 16 predictions video, I only got 50% of my picks right. I should have known better. I picked Flamengo to beat Bayern. That was a very stupid pick, because Flamengo is stupid. They were the only team that thought that they can actually go toe-to-toe with Bayern. They should have just defended, been a reactive team, but Flamengo doesn't do that. So guess what? They lost. It was kind of embarrassing. It wasn't a good loss. It was a bad loss. Now, before we start my predictions, I have a question for you. The Brazilian clubs got the easier side of the bracket. I'm not saying it's easy. I'm just saying it's easier. Do you think realistically Palmeiras or Fluminense can actually win it all? And my picks for this video are not betting advice. Don't do what I do, say what I do. That doesn't make any sense. And also, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Help us hit 10,000 subscribers as quickly as possible, even though it's been fairly quick. And don't forget to drop a like in this video. It's a great way to support the channel for free. All right, let's begin. Okay, let's start with Palmeiras versus Chelsea. My Palmeiras, my favorite club since childhood. So this is essentially a revenge game for the Brazilians, because back in 2022, they actually played in the old Club World Cup final, Palmeiras versus Chelsea, where Chelsea defeated Palmeiras 2-1 in extra time with a penalty. That was a handball from Luan, a former Palmeiras center back. Now for this game, Palmeiras will not have Gustavo Gomes, their best defender and center back, Murilo, their second best center back, Piquerez, their left back. Essentially, Palmeiras is going to have a reserve back line, which is quite concerning considering they're a team that likes to defend more than attack. Now listen, Abel Ferreira is a soccer or football terrorist. And even though here in America we don't negotiate with terrorists, he is one coach that I would love to coach the US national team. Abel Ferreira knows how to get results. But to understand Palmeiras, you have to look at their campaign. And so far in this Club World Cup, Palmeiras tied Porto 0-0, defeated Al-Ahly 2-0, tied Inter Miami 2-2 in a game that they probably should have lost, and then they tied Botafogo 0-0, and they won in extra time, 1-0 goal scored by Paulinho in the round of 16. This is not good. That's essentially 1 win in 4 games. But this is how Abel Ferreira's teams are. Even though Palmeiras has a lot of talent, it's a very good team, they do the bare minimum to go through. Essentially like me in college. Yes, I graduated in college with an engineering degree. I'm a very smart guy. But I did the bare minimum to get through with it. And that's what Palmeiras does. So just because they got these ugly results, don't underestimate them. When they won the Libertadores twice with Abel Ferreira, it was always ugly. It was always nerve-wracking because he is a football terrorist. Now, 2 Palmeiras players to watch out this game, even though I will be concerned about that reserve defense, it will be Estevão, that will be playing against Chelsea, his future club. As soon as the Club World Cup is over, Estevão goes to Chelsea. And the other one is Richard Rios, the midfielder, the Colombian midfielder for Palmeiras, that's been probably one of the best players in the Club World Cup in general. He's been incredible, so keep an eye out for him. As for Chelsea, they haven't really convinced me so far. They defeated Benfica 4-1, but it went to extra time. Right? The game ended 1-1. Chelsea also got completely outplayed by Flamengo. And here's the thing I'm going to say. Chelsea are technically the favorites, so they're going to have to take the initiative here. Palmeiras is very good when they're a reactive club. When they have to play against lesser clubs, they struggle more than when they play against better clubs, believe it or not. I don't think Palmeiras' style of play matches well for Chelsea. I think Chelsea is actually in disadvantage. Chelsea's a better team. They have better players. But again, this game is not played on paper. That's all on paper. I actually think the way Palmeiras will set up, very defensive low block and attacking them in transition, Chelsea will lose. And you know what? The human body has 206 bones. When Palmeiras wins, I have 207. With that said, Palmeiras will eliminate Chelsea. believe me. The second game is Fluminense versus Hilal, and whoever wins this game will play Chelsea or Palmeiras depending on who advances. Now Fluminense, there are two players that really catch my attention to this team. One is John Arias up top. He's been one of the best attackers in the Club World Cup. Fantastic Colombian winger that can also play as a striker. Very dangerous on the counterattacks and transition. Great player. The other one is their goalkeeper, Fabio. That's like 44 years old or 250 years old. I don't know anymore. This guy's been playing football forever. Ever since I was a kid in Brazil, I still remember Fabio. I think he was the goalkeeper for Cruzeiro at the time. They've been incredible. Now, Thiago Silva has aged like fine wine, and he's been incredible once again. That's another player to talk about. But the only reason I think Fluminense was able to advance against Inter Milan was not because Renato Gaúcho's tactics or because of the player quality and all that. The early goal that they scored with Canu, that was a little bit lucky, but it was a legitimate goal, pretty much defined the tone of the game. And then Fluminense was able to actually play well, defend well against Inter Milan, and then got a goal in transition late in the game in not extra time, but added time after the 90th minute. If they hadn't scored first, I doubt they would have gone through. That's not to take credit away from Fluminense because that was an incredible performance. And they actually defeated Inter Milan that was a Champions League finalist, something Palmeiras did not do so far in this tournament. So Fluminense's campaign is more impressive than Palmeiras so far. Understand that. And then we have to talk about Hilal, which is a team that spends over 200 million in salaries every year. Okay, they spend a lot of money. This is a really strong team. Malcolm is incredible, the winger Malcolm. Marcos Leonardo, that played for Santos a while back, their forward, that was the man of the match against Man City, is a tremendous player. Their back line, Koulibaly, is one of the best center backs in the world. I wouldn't say top 5, but I think it wouldn't be too crazy to say maybe top 15. Bono, their goalkeeper that took Morocco, was one of the big reasons why Morocco made it to the semifinals. The right back has Henalogi, João Cancelo, Neves that played in the Premier League for Wolves for a long time. This is truly a remarkable team. This is essentially a Premier League team. I would say they're as good, if not better than Chelsea right now. They could easily go toe-to-toe with Chelsea. You saw that against Manchester City. Bono might be one of the best goalkeepers in the world. I think if things go as they are expected and Fluminense doesn't get an early goal or there's some type of red card, Hilal are the clear favorites. And I actually think the Saudi team will advance to the semifinals. Also, the speed from their wingers, Fluminense is going to struggle to defend that. We'll see how it goes. I still don't think Renato Gaúcho is this great coach that people are hyping him up to be just because they defeated Inter Milan. That's my opinion. So with that said, with Hilal also having Inzaghi in charge, a brilliant coach, Hilal will advance in regular time. Unfortunately, I want the Flusão to advance, but Hilal is going to advance. Okay, the next game is PSG versus Bayern. And if you made it this far in the video, drop a like and let us know your predictions. Now, PSG versus Bayern. No matter how much analysis one tries to do, this game is 50-50. You can flip a coin. It can go either way. These are two tremendous teams. Two teams that could even win the Champions League if they played right now. As a matter of fact, PSG did win the Champions League. And now PSG has Dembele back. Is he 100%? I don't know. I don't think so, but he is back. In their game against Inter Miami, it was essentially a training session. They had a 4-0 lead at halftime, and they could have won this game by 8, but in the second half, PSG just didn't want to play. They were just resting. So PSG is very well rested for this game against Bayern. Now, Bayern against Flamengo, it wasn't a very tough win by any means, but it wasn't an easy one. Bayern did have to push it. It was much tougher than PSG versus Inter Milan. So if you want to try to put some advantage there, PSG actually did win the Champions League. PSG is also more well-rested than Bayern. So if you want to pick a favorite, maybe you can pick PSG. If you want to also try to push it more towards PSG once again, they already lost a game in this Club World Cup, so they're not going to get another letdown. They're focused. When they lost to Botafogo, they quickly woke up. Now, Bayern had a few scares here and there, right? They did also lose to Benfica, even though I don't think Europeans or the European clubs see that as a major upset because Benfica does upset big clubs in Europe from time to time. Regardless, my pick here will be PSG. I'm literally guessing or flipping a coin. This game is 50-50. I don't have any logical reason to give you. You can let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. I just think PSG will advance. Last but not least, we have Real Madrid versus Borussia Dortmund. And listen, Dortmund will not have Job Bellingham. He will not be available, the brother of Jude Bellingham, even though this is a bit weird. I'm starting to think they might be the same person. But understand, Joe Bellingham, jokes aside, he's suspended due to yellow card accumulation and will not be available. Now, the game between Dortmund and Monterrey from Mexico, if I was a Dortmund fan, which I'm not, it would be very concerning. That back line, when they played a high line, looked extremely vulnerable. They looked like France in World War II. No defense. They couldn't defend to save their lives. I just didn't like what I saw. They were getting exposed by Tecatito. That doesn't even make it to the Mexican national team anymore. Sergio Ramos almost scored a late goal to tie the game. My point, Borussia Dortmund has not looked good at all throughout the entire Club World Cup. Borussia Dortmund also did not look good the entire past season. They were a mid-table team in the Bundesliga, didn't look good in the Champions League as well. While Real Madrid is still Real Madrid. Vinicius Jr., Jude Bellingham, Kylian Mbappe is back. Valverde, Rodrigo on the bench is not even playing. That is a tremendous team right there, Real Madrid. And when you talk about Real Madrid with players like Kylian Mbappe and Vinicius, and you talk about a team like Dortmund that plays a very vulnerable high line that we saw against Monterrey, if you send the ball over the top, brother, you're in big trouble, especially against Real Madrid with these players that have a lot of pace. The difference is Vinicius is not Tecatito, and Mbappe is not Tecatito. You get those opportunities, they will punish you. I'm sorry, I don't see another outcome. I could get fancy and try to pick an upset here and say Dortmund will knock out Real Madrid, but this to me is the most uneven matchup out of all in the quarterfinals. Real Madrid will advance. Is it going to be easy? Probably not. I doubt it, but it'll probably be like a 2-goal differential. Regardless, my pick is pretty easy. It's pretty clear. Real Madrid will knock out Borussia Dortmund, which, by the way, this is not a good Borussia Dortmund. They've seen better days. All right, everyone. Thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to drop a like before you go. And once the Club World Cup is over, we're going to be back to focusing on the Brazilian national team, the Brazilian League, and Brazilian players. Even though this video, like I said, we did talk about 2 Brazilian clubs. And that's all for today. Don't forget to subscribe, put the notification bell on, and let us know in the comment section down below your predictions for the quarterfinals. I want to thank you all very much for watching, and have a great day.